Hi, I'm Harold Monroe, Editor-in-Chief at the Vancovuer Sun and Province, and I'm here with Daphne Braham, columnist for the Vancovuer Sun. Daphne, what's going on in Nanaimo, first of all?
Well, in Nanaimo, Leonard Krogh, the MLA for the region, for that area, has been elected as mayor. And within minutes of him being elected as mayor, the BC Liberals, have put out a statement responding that they are excited to put forward a candidate to run in the by-election because Leonard Krogh, given the tight numbers in the legislature, Leonard Krogh's election could very well mean that if the Liberals could win that seat, we could have a new provincial government, which is rather exciting when you think about this being a municipal election, that it could have that kind of... The question, of course, that it will be in the by-election, that this is a riding that traditionally goes very strongly New Democrats. So I think the New Democrats wouldn't have allowed Leonard Krogh to go if they thought that they were going to have much of a problem. But just quickly, we'll run through some of the ones who've been elected. So in Coquitlam, Richard Stewart has been re-elected. He's one of the few incumbents running. Another incumbent who's been re-elected as mayor is Jonathan Cote.
That's interesting there. I think, the New West District Labour Council, he got elected, as did everybody endorsed on school board and council by the District Labour Council. And so far, looking in Burnaby, where they also endorsed candidates, Mike Hurley, as we know, is leading, surprisingly longtime mayor Derek Corrigan, as well as all the councillors, again, that were endorsed by the District Labour Council. So a big night for Labour in Burnaby and New Westminster, and we don't know what that might mean for Vancouver, but...
Well, and in some ways not a surprise there either. I mean, those are strongholds for the New Democrats and for Labour.
Right.
Out in the Tri-Cities, Brad West is the new mayor. He's only 33 years old. Out in that city as well, Steve Darling, who many people will remember as a broadcaster, he is elected council. Port Moody has a new mayor, Rob Vagramov. North Van City's got a new mayor. Linda Buchanan. Maple Ridge has a new mayor, Mike Morden. Mike Morden is one of the ones who is opposed to the homeless camp. He replaces Nicole Reid, who was one of the people who was trying quite hard to deal with the homelessness problem. So clearly a bit of a backlash in Maple Ridge when it comes to that. North Vancouver District is Mike Little. Right. And the ones that we're watching quite closely, the tight races, the ones that are really going to come down to the wire. Delta, George Harvey has got, it's a tight race there. George Harvey is the former chief administrative officer.
It looks to be in a battle with Jim Sesford. Yes. Sylvia Bishop, the incumbent councillor, is falling back a little bit, but the police chief is on his heels. And it looks like Lois Jackson's probably going to stay on council as a councillor this time.
The former mayor looks like she's going to be a councillor. So we're still, it's a slow night for Vancouver. They've been having some problems all day long with getting their ballots in, getting them through the machines. So it could be a late night for us waiting for Vancouver.
Right. But again, so we skipped over Surrey. More than 60% of the votes back in Surrey, and Doug McCallum has a really significant lead over Tom Gill and Bruce Hain, who, if you recall, Tom Gill is with Surrey First. Bruce Hain was a Surrey First councillor who broke away to run with the new party, Integrity Now. They seem to have almost the same number of votes. Together, they'd have more votes than Doug McCallum, but separately, they're a good 10 to 13,000 votes behind based on 60%, 63% of the votes counted in. And McCallum seems to be dragging his team, the Safe Surrey Coalition, along with him. Looks like 7 of his candidates are also in position to get seats on council. So that would be huge implications for Surrey. McCallum's talked about getting rid of the RCMP, replacing with the city police force, and trying to somehow, although many say he wouldn't have the ability to do this, scuttle the light rail line in favor of SkyTrain. So big changes coming in a lot of places.
Well, it's interesting that across we're seeing so many new mayors being elected, and there was a sense that this would be a generational change. So Surrey's certainly bucking that trend, going back to their previous mayor from almost more than a decade, right?
73-year-old Doug McCallum, yes.
And it has huge implications in terms of growth and so on. So that one, I think that's a huge change and something that we'll have to look at more closely.
We'll be back later.